talk about it first. Say,
Wait till you said today is the. Okay, so maybe what's today? The eighth. Okay, so you saying wait till then and then maybe be able to catch it on Saturday. Okay, yeah, we do that. Okay.
Everybody get to go on this journey with
Doing
us
so much stuff.
as we put this thing together. You know what I'm saying? We got a whole
Oh, you
team
can hear
together. What?
I had it pulled up live.
Oh, that's what's up. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay,
The
yeah.
5 people we had are gone.
Oh man, the 5 people we had. Oh man, come on now. Don't do it like that. You feel me? But we here. Oh, okay, okay. All right. Yes, yes. Oh, I'm not supposed to be doing that. Okay. Yeah, we get it. All right. So we streaming. Hello, world. Hello, world. All that good stuff.
Good. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Yeah. We can be heard. We can be heard. Yeah.
Let's gotta wait to restart because we're gonna show this again. We got 20 minutes of nonsense at the beginning.
Yeah, it's very much nonsense. Yeah. Yeah.
Can we stop and start again?
I think we're live streaming, so I think it's kind of hard to.
Pretty live.
Yeah, we're live. Right. Yeah. So
It's not hard to stop and start over.
we here though. They're getting us raw and uncut. You know what I'm saying? They get the good thing about it is they get to go on the journey with us.
Mhm.
So as we go forward, then they actually have agency and investment in what we create. You feel me? So yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're actual clinicians. We do mental health stuff.
Yeah.
So all this other stuff that we doing, we pretty much we doing it as we go. And as we do it as we go, we're gonna have hiccups, you know what I mean? We're not paid actors.
Sure.
You're a paid actor? You getting
Or
paid?
actress.
Actress, yeah, right. So with that, you know what I'm saying, they get to support us from the ground floor. You know what I'm saying?
Straight out the mud.
Straight out the mud. You know what I'm saying? And as we continue to go forward, guess what? They get to celebrate our wins and they get to console us in our losses. But we want to win. I like that Coach Prime effect thing. You know what I'm saying? Where it's about winning. You know. And overall, what we doing is.
Okay, well, welcome. Are we gonna talk to the people? We gonna
Welcome
just chit
then.
chat with each
Okay,
other.
then you see Queen Eris, y'all. Hey, she
Hello,
got
let's
started.
get
Oh,
because
hell.
we've been
Here
sitting
we
on here
go.
for a minute,
Okay,
just
then
not doing
what's happening
anything.
then? What's happening then?
let's
How about you
go.
tell them about your what you just did not too long ago?
What about now? Let's talk about homecoming.
Well, let's talk about homecoming. Then. What's happening?
What y'all doing for homecoming? Is homecoming y'all already had y'all's or U
Well,
of L's are
first
still
tell
coming
them
up, right?
what school you went to and what school we
We both went to U of L.
Oh, I went to Tennessee State University. Yeah, and Austin Peay State University as well. Okay, go ahead.
You got real strong with that.
I sure did. HBCU in the
That's
building.
Texas, right? Well, you might
Tennessee State. Tennessee State University. How in the world?
No, you said Austin Peay.
Yeah.
Austin Peay's
Oh no,
in
Austin
Tennessee
Peay is
also.
in it's in Tennessee. It's in Clarksville,
Okay, 'cause
Tennessee.
that's where my son goes. My youngest son. When you
For
said
real?
yeah, he goes to community. He started school there back in August. This is his first year.
Oh man, how you like it?
Yeah, he's loving it.
Yeah, Austin
So
Peay
grown.
is a pseudo HBCU now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Okay, homecoming season is clearly different when you go to a PWI versus.
Absolutely,
Way different.
Absolutely,
Much more traditional. I see like HBCUs, and it's just like the lineage that you see there. Like you see people that HBCUs that went to school 20, 30 years ago. You know, whereas a lot of times in PWIs, it's just not the case.
Now you know what I said. I thought that
Not
too.
as much tradition.
I thought that too. But Austin Peay State University, that it's almost like a family reunion. Whenever we have our homecoming, I didn't used to go to the homecoming because I was like, what the heck is this? But like, yeah, it's actually, I guess if it's a smaller PWI,
It's good you said because it is more like a family reunion.
it is. It's a family reunion.
When people talk about it, like that live out of state. Like I'm going to K State just to go to their
Right.
homecoming. Or I heard people that go to Alabama. They went to school in Alabama. They live in Kentucky. Like no, I'm making it a point. I'm going down south to my homecoming.
Absolutely.
Whereas the PWIs, especially like U of L, like
U of L could do a better job.
it's kind of hit or
U of
miss.
L
Like
could
I
do
may
more.
go. It's like if the move suits me, but it's just like not like a oh man, I gotta get back.
I gotta
It's just
get
go
back,
campus
yeah.
and see my peoples.
Yeah.
It's just not that same urgency, man. Like I think I went last year, or maybe the year before that, but I don't think I really did anything last year.
When have I been to a homecoming at U of L?
I'm gonna say I don't think I've ever
It's been
seen
a
you at
minute.
one of the
I've been
homecomings.
to a couple, but see me at what? That's what I'm saying. It's not just like it's not like we get together and tailgate like
Well, they do have something now set up. I think 'cause I got
the
a couple of
African American
friends there
Alumni
where
Association
they
does
have
stuff.
events set up throughout
Shout
the
out to
weekend.
y'all.
Yeah. So
Yeah, most definitely.
I got a couple of family members that's on that, man, and they really try to lay that thing out and have things planned. I think leading up to like starting out that Thursday, and just pretty much going the whole weekend.
Okay, we need to go this year.
Okay. I'm
We
definitely
gonna
gonna,
go
I'm gonna make it a point to go. Just because I've
You
asked
said
them.
I'm going. I don't know if you're
Yeah,
coming.
I mean you can come. I mean
You
it's
see
gonna
how
be
you did me?
it's gonna be
That's
dancers
fine.
there,
No,
it's
don't
gonna
even
be
worry
all
about
kind
it.
of
Don't worry
brothers
about
gonna
it.
be there. It's gonna be
It's gonna
And
be
it's fine.
It's gonna be
It gonna
because
be
they do have
lit.
they actually starting to tailgate now. I think
They
the Divine
is.
Nine like
Last
they actually
year.
have like a spot now where they
Yeah.
tailgate on.
Oh,
campus.
okay.
Like so you
Yeah.
can go there and just show up tailgate, and then you
Yeah.
go to other people's tailgates that's around, and then you can go to the football game. Because the
Yeah.
football game is usually like what 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I never appreciated how U of L didn't give us tickets to the game. When my sisters was at Western, I went to all kind of Western games because they let their students in free. Was I a student? No, but I resembled a few students, and so I went to their games for free. U of L they don't give their students free tickets.
You're well about that money.
U of L said you can pay for them just like everyone else.
Yeah, everyone else.
Tuition has
I
been
guess
covering
that's
that.
that D1 Power 5 school
Yeah.
type thing.
It's money, man.
Can't relate.
Ooh,
I'm-
I feel attacked. No, I can't
There's
relate.
no
yeah,
attack.
yeah. Ooh.
There's so we
Now,
gotta
I
have
went to-
something. We done
wait,
lost
hold on,
homecoming.
hold
We
on.
done lost
Hold
tradition.
on, I
we
went
done,
to Vanderbilt too, so I mean they but I never you know what I'm saying, went to the actual homecoming. No shot, you know what I'm saying, shade to Vanderbilt, but
I am. When's the last time you seen Vanderbilt in the top 25 in any sport?
we're known for academics.
Yeah.
he said we graduate. We actually graduate.
We
Right? Where
graduate.
It's like U of L, like Kentucky, those schools are more, it's every other year you're going to see Kentucky, U of L in the top 25 in some sport. Like this year alone, like Kentucky football.
Yeah,
Kentucky football and U of L both
Shouts
ranked in the
out,
top 25.
shouts out to them. They surprised the heck out of me.
They won't be ranked too much longer. Kentucky just got throttled by Georgia. Like
Of
52
course, they
to-
got throttled by
52
Georgia.
to 13
of
or something like
course.
that.
Can't relate. I don't know what y'all
Absolutely.
are talking about.
Yes,
Georgia's like
absolutely.
ranked number 1 in the country. They're like
Yeah,
these
we
schools-
are ranked number 1.
Yeah.
In the
We
country.
you done been associated with like 8 schools.
I went to those schools, but I'm from Georgia though. I know y'all from y'all from here, so I mean
Yeah.
I'm not from here, so I'm a Georgia.
Okay.
Like how you feel about the Cowboys, that's
Like
how I
about-
feel about Georgia. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're really big down in Georgia and Alabama and Texas.
Mhm.
Like two of like the biggest like college schools down there. Like Florida used to be there, but they fallen off. So now it's more
if I can
Georgia,
get
Texas,
my
and Alabama.
Wait a minute, we got somebody who just chimed in. Let me see if I can read that.
Ain't no way.
Say ain't no way. Well, we gonna make it happen. Let me get closer. Oh, y'all done got me dropping my phone, Jesus.
Will you talk about the impact of community on the mental health of Black people? Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Talk about the impact of community on the mental health of Black people. They wasn't just asking me. You looking at me.
I'm just
They was
saying,
just
you in
saying,
my direction, man.
We talk about
we
that?
can talk about it.
Okay, the impact of community.
Mental health in the community. Oh.
I mean, of course, the community is going to have an impact on your mental health. How does the environments that we live in and grow up in impact the Black community? Is what I would say. The places we live in, the places that we grow up, the mentalities of those people. How is the mental health of Black people impacted by the environments we grow up in?
I got a take on that. I mean, any environment is going to impact your development. You know what I'm saying? So, if your environment has things that's not conducive to a healthy development, then yeah, it's gonna have an impact. Sometimes we kind of try to negate it or try to ignore it or try to whatever the case may be, but it's still gonna have an impact whether you recognize it or not.
I mean, because it does take a village, and that's one of the things I've seen in particular in the clients that I work with that are successful. They have that strong village around them. So the community, it can make or break someone, right? So if you grow up in an environment where everything is very fragmented, high stressful, environment, meaning there's a lot of violence, drug use, then they can have a negative impact, right? If you have nobody else to look up to other than the people that are doing that type of stuff. But if you're in a healthy community where, you know, you may have a good relationship with your pastor or with your coaches, or, you know, some of the elders in the community, then it tends to be more of a positive impact. So I just think it just really depends. But I think as black people, man, we got to be more, I think we've gotten so, you know, because it used to be that way, right? Where if, you know, you hear people, comedians used to joke about it. You know, it's like you get in trouble by your mother and your father, but then, you know, your next door neighbor may have something to say, right? And then the next door neighbor down the street may have something to say to correct you on it. Everybody, the community's holding you accountable. But now it's not so much the case because, you know, if I get chastised by my mother and then someone down along the neighborhood says something to me, then they might get checked by the mother, right, or by somebody part of the family. So now I think we've kind of went in the opposite direction. But there's just too much statistics out there, man. It just shows, man, the more unified we are collectively, the more effective we are. I mean, if you look at other groups, not just blacks, but if you look at the Jewish community, the Asian community, Hispanic community, they stay together. They support one another. And I think that's what we're lacking right now.
I just think about that black people, when I think about the supports and services that other communities, especially white communities, like majority people have had access to, and we have not, like we haven't thought about how to deal with, like we are just now coming into being able to use the words like depression and anxiety in regular sentences, knowing about our mental health disorders that we will be dealing with, realizing that, hey, we don't have to just carry all of these burdens on our shoulders. Like some of the stuff that we are dealing with is traumatizing. Hey, maybe I do need to talk to somebody. That is relatively new within the black community. It wasn't like you would go to sit down and talk to a therapist. So I think that even though we've come a long way, that's been one of the, I think, biggest things that have kept us from moving forward the way that we need to. Because it feels like now that we have tapped into getting that piece straight, that was pretty much our mentality is the only thing that has held us back for so long. We've had the talent, we've had the gifts, we've had the brain power, we've had all of that, but the mentality wasn't there for one reason or another. Some out of our control, but not realizing, okay, everybody sometimes when you get sad, you don't just go to church and pray about it. Sometimes there's real issues going on chemically within your body some things are hereditary, some things that come along different ways, that I think that we haven't put as much emphasis on getting that support, but it's been necessary. And now we're just now starting to open our eyes to, okay, we do not have to shoulder all of these burdens on our own. It is okay to talk to a professional. It's okay to get outside help. It's okay to not be okay. And before it was just like white knuckle it, figure it out, like thug it out on
trauma,
your own.
You know, you think of the word trauma, what we experience, man, trauma makes us sick. Trauma is killing us. And if you don't think that, then I would encourage you, man, to take the ACE assessment and just look at just the things that maybe you don't even realize as being a trauma that you had to endure. But looking at those type of things that you've encountered, man, actually makes you more susceptible to heart disease, you know, high blood pressure, all those things are very prevalent in the hypertension that are very prevalent in the black community.
Can I look at the Facebook comments on my phone? Is that rude? Because it's hard to read them off that thing.
It's all in. I'm over here looking like, man, I need a stronger
everybody don't need to, though. All y'all, I didn't say y'all get off y'all.
Can we? I want to do it.
Let somebody mediate.
Yeah,
one person. Everybody.
You mediate. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. My phone put away. It's on you.
There you go. I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke.
Look at that. I got to turn the volume down. Okay, so in case y'all haven't noticed, we are taking questions live.
Yeah.
Part of us going live is that we wanted to interact with our audience. We wanted to be able to answer questions in real time. So we're just kind of figuring out how to do that the best and most effective way, because we want to literally answer them in real time. As you ask them, then we start talking about it right then. And any topics that you guys are interested in, that you want to know about, or that you want to see us discussing, we definitely want to hear from you. So send us some questions or leave us some comments, and we're going to try to incorporate that into, so you see me looking at my phone, I'm trying to check the comments so that we can discuss that stuff in real time. But thank you for your first question. Let me see who
That was
had
a good
that
question.
question.
Yeah, that was a real good question.
Um, Leslie, we see you. Okay. All right. Let's see. Traditionally, black people just think we just need Jesus and don't acknowledge mental health deficits.
Mm.
What y'all think about that?
I mean, you touched on that earlier.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I
Yeah.
do think, what people realize is like, even if you go to church and you pray, right? Jesus was a man of action, right? So it's not enough just to pray, right? You have to be a person of action. So you pray, but what are you doing within your control to address whatever deficits you're dealing with? Because it's not enough just to say, I'm going to pray and just leave it with Jesus or leave it with God. Because when Jesus came on this earth, and I'm not an active Christian, but I do know just from my upbringing that Jesus certainly was a man of action. So he didn't just pray. He walked the walk, he talked the talk. So it's like, it's just not enough for us, in particular when you're dealing with whatever challenges you have. Like you don't, it's enough. You don't just talk the talk, you need to walk it as well. So if you're praying, that's cool. That's great that you have that outlet, but what else are you doing? In the meantime, right? When you hear the term, like a friend had brought up to me a while ago, he said, when you hear the term wait on the Lord, like wait, you got to think of it more of as an action verb, like a waiter or a waitress, not just wait. Like I'm just going to wait impatient. It wasn't,
Wow.
hey, it wasn't mine.
Amen.
A friend shared that with me one time, man, and it stuck with me, but that's true. I mean, it's just,
You probably can pull up YouTube. I mean, yeah, YouTube on yours, and I'll do the Facebook.
Okay, I got you. Yes,
We
ma'am.
got another comment or
Oh,
question
snap.
from Leslie. How important is the awareness of oppression in the community? Hmm. Awareness of
Oppression.
oppression.
I think just like anything in life, you recognize that it's there. You recognize that it's there, right? But that doesn't mean that you become a victim of it, right? You recognize that it's there, and then you plan accordingly. Like I have 19-year-old sons, and I have an 18-year-old, and I tell them, look, life is going to be tough at times. Nobody's going to care what you're going through. Will there be cases where you may be discriminated against because of the color of your skin? Absolutely, right? But that doesn't mean you give up, right? That means you work harder. That means you figure out other ways to get around and to navigate system, right? The oppressive system. You have to figure out how to navigate it. And so I think a lot of times where we get in trouble is that we acknowledge it, we say that it's there, but then we don't do anything. We just accept defeat.
And I'm gonna say the key word here is awareness. I feel like you want to have a general awareness of the systems and situations and circumstances that are going to impact you, your family, and your community in general. If that is systematic oppression, or if it's marginalization, or if it's just whatever, it could be positive or negative. You just want to be aware of the things that are going on in your community, or they impact you and people around you just in general. Like and oppression definitely being one of them, but I don't. It's not necessarily just that you're focusing on that, but in all the ways that the system set up glass ceilings or things that make it difficult, or just marginalization or racism. You just want to be aware in general so that you know how to combat that, or so you at least have some kind of answer when you are met with that in real time. You awfully quiet.
Oh wait a minute! Don't come for me.
He just
oh yeah. Y'all eat y'all thing.
let me
But if you want me to, I'm talking about.
put a little razzle dazzle on it.
What? Yeah, a little razzle dazzle. I mean, I from an oppression standpoint, it's I think it is somewhat subjective. I think sometimes we create our own prisons. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I've encountered people who use certain situations as scapegoats not to do something. Like, oh man, I would have, could have, should have, but you know what I'm saying? Hey man, this thing hanging over me, so I ain't gonna do it. I think that individuals have to first really, you know what I'm saying, get into their that Bluetooth picked it up. But yeah, I think that people should get in tune with their values, their core values, You know what I'm saying? And you'd be surprised how many people don't understand what they stand for. I think once you understand what you stand for, and really and understand when we talk about values that these are unwavering things that you'll die for. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? And once you get in line with that, I think everything else works itself out. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been oppressed for what 400
I was
years.
about to say, it's always going to be someone
It's
with
always
something
gonna be
to say.
someone, something. Yep, yep, absolutely.
So let me ask you this. So yeah, let's say somebody is dealing with that and they're wanting to explore that with the therapist. I had somebody ask me this past week, how do they go about picking the right therapist for them? What
Oh
kind of advice would you
yeah.
give
Oh
somebody?
my goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So
Okay.
what's the
Okay. Okay.
question?
Okay.
How do you pick? How
the
do you go
therapist,
The
about
right
picking
the
therapist.
the
therapist,
right
That's so
therapist for
important.
you.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is very important.
for you, right?
For
You ready to
you.
answer?
Go ahead. You
No,
go.
I
I'll
didn't
go
have
ahead.
an answer.
Oh, okay.
Restating the question so
Yeah.
everybody.
So with that, I tell people that first understand what is therapy. Some people have a very
Okay.
unrealistic expectation of therapy.
Mhm.
We are not an end all be all. I tell people who come to me, I'm like, I don't tell you what's right or what's wrong.
Mm,
My job is to present to you the facts of the situation,
yeah,
so you can make an informed decision of what's best of your life or what to do.
Mhm.
It could be right, it could be wrong. You can either live in cognitive dissonance or reality.
Mhm.
Either way, this is your life.
right.
So the first thing I would tell a person to do is see if that therapist is culturally competent, if you're a minority. Second of all, what value system do this therapist align with?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you want somebody to give you a truth from the lens in which you see.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So if I think this way or I feel this way, and this is my approach to things, then we're and you think another way, then we're gonna really clash if we're not gonna be able to get aligned
Yeah.
on the same the fundamentals,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's basically you as an individual. If you have certain value systems that are non-negotiable for you or that are extremely important to you, for example, if you are a Christian and you want your therapy to be guided in that way, then you're going to look for a therapist who can at least sympathize or if not all the way fully practice their therapy in that way. So you're thinking about what's important to you, what are your values in terms of as you're finding a therapist, you're finding people whose values at least somewhat align with yours.
Yeah.
To say if you are in the LGBT community and you are dealing with a primarily Christian practice who is trying to condemn you for your lifestyle, you're like, I'm not struggling with my lifestyle, I'm struggling with depression, and you're making all the sessions about whether or not I'm gay. And that's not. I don't have a problem with that part. I have a problem with why am I
Just
can't
saying.
get out of bed.
Yeah.
So you got to think about what's important to you and how to find someone whose values, like he was saying, values align, but that you know what matters to you, so that you're able to kind of eliminate people who don't, at least have a general concept of what is important to you.
Yeah. And so it's twofold, right? So it's like a understanding what therapy is and what it looks like,
Mm-hmm.
and then what it is that you're wanting to get from therapy. I tell people in terms of therapy, it's like you got to look at it like from a sense of like through a medical doctor's lens, right? You come to a doctor, you tell them what symptoms you're experiencing, they make a diagnosis, and then they tell you what you should do, right? Typically, it's in the form of some type of medicine you get. You'll take that no problem, right? But then I think a lot of times when it's just the opposite, you go to a therapist, they tell you, you tell them your symptoms, they give you a diagnosis, and then they help come up with a plan, things that you have to do, right, to make this successful. And I think that's where it gets very difficult or challenging for folks to be more open to therapy because it takes a lot longer, right, to see a result. I can give a medicine and I can give you a medicine and you can start to notice the benefits of that within 24 48 hours. But if you're dealing with somebody that comes that's dealing with depression, right, that may take more time and more effort on their end because therapy is not a place where we're going to give you the right answers, right? We're going to tell you exactly what to do. That's not really the purpose of therapy. The purpose of therapy is to create some awareness, give you options, and then you make the decisions based on what's best for you, right? And what route to take. And we're simply like I say, like a tour guide. We tell you the roadmap about how to get there, but you actually have to take the steps to get there too, and know that it's going to take time, and be patient with that. So,
All right, man, you got some.
No, go ahead.
All right. What's the difference between a therapist and a life coach?
Okay, we got this is a YouTube comment.
Yeah.
YouTube comment. You want to shout out the commenter? No.
In case the person want to be anonymity.
Okay, so they're asking.
that's
the
interesting. We
difference
just
between-
was having this
we just
conversation
talked
like
about
last, like a couple days ago.
a therapist and a life coach, because I kind of do both. Okay, so
Okay.
one, if you are in therapy, there's a couple of things that are typically going to happen. You are going to receive a diagnosis. Part of the billing and all of that process requires that you be diagnosed most of the time. If you're using insurance, sometimes not if you're not, but you're going to receive a diagnosis. We're going to be working on a treatment plan. So they're going to be figuring out specific ways to walk through what you're dealing with, and then measurable ways to tell that you are getting better or things are improving in some kind of way. So you're going to be receiving diagnosis, you're going to have a treatment plan, you're going to have measurable goals that you're working on, and it's going to it can depending on your therapist's style of therapy, it can determine whether or not you are doing a lot of digging into the past, or whether you are looking for solutions, or whether you're specifically focusing on the future. That kind of depends on the type of therapist you'll have, but usually therapy is going to be marked by those specific things. You're going to have some kind of diagnosis. You're going to have some kind of treatment plan. You're going to have measurable goals that you're working on. So it's different than, because a lot of times people say, well, I don't need a therapist. I talk to my friends. But your friend is not using scientifically based methods that have been measured and tested for their effectiveness, for their efficacy. So you're not just giving people general advice, but you're literally working on scientifically proven tools and methods that are going to help to improve problems and are going to specifically target whatever you're dealing with. A life coach is going to be a little bit, sometimes some of the topics can be the same, but in general, it's not going to be as in-depth and as invasive. I don't know if you would say that, but you're not necessarily going to dive as deep, and you might not have that specific set of like, these are the goals that we're working on, this is how we're going to measure if we're accomplishing that, and this is so you like the life coaching one is not as regulated like therapy is, because therapists are going to be responsible to a board. They have certain ethical and moral concerns that they have to deal with. They have regulations, so those things kind of keep the consumer safe, so that a person is not just getting inside your head and telling you anything. But a life coach, that is not quite as regulated, so it's a little bit more loose in terms of what you deal with and what. So your coaching could be topic specific. You might have a spiritual coach, you might have a relationship coach, you might have a style coach or something like that that's helping you with your general appearance and how you come off to people. So the life coaching is a little bit more broad. It's not as in depth, and it's a little bit just more general to me. Y'all got additions?
Oh, you killed that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess you would say, I mean, and I don't have a lot of experience with life coaches, but it's more like they're more meant to be more practical, like in a sense, right? So you're looking at just things that like it's more hands-on with the life coach, because they're actually there with them doing the actual stuff, right? So it's like, whereas a therapist, it's like we're sitting in a room, we're in an office, and we're talking about these things, and we're coming up with a plan, and then that person is given that homework to do on their own. Is that kind of sums it up? Okay.
And I kind of think of it like, okay, I'm also a hairstylist. So I think about like when you come in and say if you go to your barber or you go to your hairstylist and get your hair done, how you guys sit down and talk, or you start talking about your problems and y'all are just kind of generally talking. It's not like a specific regimented thing, or we're going to be discussing this today, or we're going to go through that. Like you're generally talking about what is on your heart today and getting some kind of general direction about that and some guidance or just some support in what you're doing. To me, that's more like coaching. But say if you were like, you start talking about, okay, I've been going through a breakup and I've been feeling really down. I done start losing weight and I'm having a hard time. Then I might be like, okay, it sounds like you might be going through a bit of depression with this. So then you might be going deeper into that, and once you realize, okay, this general coaching is not quite enough, you might need to go see a therapist to deal with the deeper issues like depression or other things that might be going on.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Y'all don't have nothing to add to it?
Oh yeah, you covered that one.
That's it. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you explained it perfectly.
Perfectly. Yeah.
Someone asked, is it normal to shop around for the right mental health professional? Kind of piggybacking off the other question.
Oh.
Is it normal to shop around? So maybe what if you try a person and you don't like them, or you go to a couple sessions and you're not connecting with them? How would you break up with your therapist, or how do you interview other therapists? Is it awkward? What y'all think?
Well, from my perspective, yeah, you should shop therapists. It's almost like trying on shoes. You're trying to get the right fit. First of all, you're paying your money for a certain result. So with that, you should get what serves you. And the therapist don't. Well, if the therapist is a professional, the therapist is, trust and believe, is not heartbroken.
Taking it personal.
Right.
Don't take it personal.
Yeah.
Right. Because the overall thing is for you to get the outcomes that you're looking for. And if I can't do it and he can do it, by all means, please.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know, it is a professional relationship. And that's what we talk about when we explore healthy boundaries, you know, and being able to establish boundaries and recognize what boundaries are. So, yeah.
And do your homework, right? So it's like there's different ways, man. You can get a sense of what you know, the type of therapist you're looking for based on their reviews, based on, you know, they may even have a professional profile that you can look up. Word of mouth is a good thing, but just also be mindful too. Like, notice the pattern. So if you find yourself where you're constantly going and finding or hiring a new therapist and having to break up with your old one, what's the thing there? Like, why is it, right? Because if it's stuff that maybe you should be looking more into internally, like maybe there's things that you should be doing that maybe you don't want to do, then that's a whole issue in itself. Because if you're finding yourself going from therapist to therapist because you're not getting what you want, but then the question is, are you doing your part too? Because it is a two-way process. It cannot work on just one person. Even if you go to see a medical doctor, there's only so much they're going to be able to do. You got to meet them halfway. So if you find yourself not willing to meet them halfway or unable to, right, then those are two totally different things. You need to explore the unwillingness, because that may not be the fact that you need to find a therapist. It may be you.
Yeah.
And I think about just, okay, it's worth the trouble in the beginning of the process to, like he said, do your homework as you're interviewing people. So say you might be calling around to different places trying to find a therapist or trying to get hooked up with somebody, and a lot of places are having, or like they're booked way out, or they're just trying to assign you to a person. It is worth your trouble if you are having serious issues or you feel like you have a specific personality type or whatever. It's definitely worth the trouble to be able to ask a few questions about their therapeutic style or about their just personal philosophy on their format or how they think, just so that you can get hooked up with the right person. Because what you don't want to do is get the wrong therapist and then get discouraged about the process, feeling like it's not going to help you, and then you give up too soon. Because a lot of people end up getting discouraged because they maybe got with somebody who they did not connect with, and then they just kind of gave up on the process, like therapy doesn't work, or it's you know, it's not helping me, it's boring, or we're not talking about anything, or we're stuck. You want to, personalities matter the same way, just like he said, like with the medical doctor or with the teacher. Who you have, whose classroom you're in, or whose table you're laying on is going to make a huge difference in terms of how effective the treatment is or how well you learn. So the personality of your therapist is equally important, if not more, just because there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of dialogue back and forth. So if you guys don't get along personality-wise, it's very easy to get discouraged in the process. So do your research up front and wait on the right person so that you know don't give up on the process and not and think that therapy is not going to help you, because it is helpful.
Mhm.
But you got to be true to what it is you want to get from therapy too. Got to be honest.
Gotta be realistic. Like I said, it's not no one size fit all. It's not no magical pill. One of the things that I think is discouraging is once you go to therapy and you learn some new terminology, you go out here and you like a pseudo therapist. I hate that. I really do.
What do you mean?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you learned a couple of words with your therapist and then you go out here and you using it against people.
That's
You're not gonna gaslight me. You're not gaslighting. Well, like, wait a minute, hold up, ma'am, sir. You know what I'm saying? Like, calm down.
Yeah,
okay?
we're like even using it correctly. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So I think that when it's good that you go to therapy. It's a very rewarding experience if you utilize it within the right way. You will, like I said, especially for black males in particular, who already kind of hesitant of even doing like therapy as in a whole. You know what I'm saying? Being able to understand that if this right here don't work with this person, it's okay to go find somebody else. Don't just like, man, therapy don't even work, man, screw that. Nah, if this person here don't work, that's fine, that's cool. Find somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's one of the barriers that overall that demographic face. You know what I'm saying? In regards to finding the right person.
Okay, so they're asking about any particular treatment modalities or things that you feel like are better for the black community or more culturally competent, maybe.
Well, I'm a big advocate of cognitive behavioral therapy. So that's used mainly to treat like depression, anger management, ADHD,
It's a good one.
things like that. So because to me that's been my go-to in terms of therapy. What treatments that I use because I like to because I'm a firm believer, man, and a lot of times of what we think does have an impact on how we act, right? And so whether we, so if we're telling ourselves positive things, then we tend to have more of a positive outlook. Our behavior tends to reflect more of a positive tone. But if all we're doing is telling ourselves negative things, then it's going to put us in a negative mood, which would then start to externalize more in ways where we're engaging in more toxic behavior. So it starts here, right? What are we telling ourselves, right? And so that's my favorite. That's one of my, I feel like the most effective treatment modalities because it creates self-awareness, right? And so, it, like, for example, I know when I play a video game using cognitive behavioral therapy, I know one of my triggers is.
Yeah, you use cognitive behavioral
I do. I use it on myself to manage my own anger.
Y'all hear this?
Like, for real. So if
Oh,
I'm playing.
God.
No, hear me
Yeah,
out. So if
he's
I'm
doing
playing
his
the
own
game.
anger
He therapizing
management. He's doing his
himself.
own
He
anger
therapizing
management.
But we should.
himself.
What game are you playing?
But if I play a game where I know it's a competitive game, right? And then
What
if I,
game?
So if it's Call of Duty or if it's,
Okay.
if it's Madden.
You
and,
doing your own therapy
and I
on
know-
Call of
And I know
Duty.
I'm playing like 30 to
You
45
playing Madden
minutes,
over
right?
Do Dirty House.
Right. And then like you said. And then I get mad, right? Then I start cursing. Then I know like, okay, I'm about to go there, man. Let me step back. Let me take a break, right? That's that
Okay.
self-awareness. So that's why I like cognitive behavioral therapy because it does help you create more awareness about yourself, your thought patterns, your physical symptoms. Like, mine was cursing. It could be somebody else's. It could be their heart rate picking up or, them gritting their teeth or squeezing their fists, right? All those different things are strong indicators, man, that you may be getting ready to bloop out or getting ready to do something that you know that is unhealthy or not productive. So.
And I would say probably not the treatment modalities specifically that are for the black community or that are culturally competent, but it's more the clinician themselves. So the clinician is going to use the treatment modalities that they most align with and that they are most familiar with, and they can use those in a variety of ways that are effective. So it's not necessarily the treatment modality itself in terms of its effectiveness for the black community, but mostly the clinician, whether they're culturally competent, whether they understand, whether they can identify.
Because keep in mind, a lot of things that they're doing, the treatment modalities, the assessments, they've already tested the cultural competence and passed it, which is why they're being recommended. As effective treatments because of that exact same question that you had about the cultural competency. But the biggest part to what Aaron was saying is it's about the clinician. and how they implement that. So if they're, they can have the tool, right, or the assessments to be able to do the work, but if they're not culturally competent, then it really doesn't matter.
Okay, we have a YouTube
Yes, a
question.
YouTube question. We're gonna say MH. We're gonna say it's from MH.
MH.
MH. So he says, how do you build trust if your client suffers from PTSD or CPTSD?
How does who build trust?
Therapist.
The therapist
How do
build
you-
the trust between the therapist and the client.
Yeah. Well, according to that, how do you build trust if your client suffers from PTSD? So how do you build trust? So I guess from a third person perspective, what would that look like to build trust with a client with PTSD in particular?
Mhm.
Well, as somebody who worked with PTSD,
Say, you the man for that. You the man for that.
There's no one size fit all. I think
Mm-hmm.
with any modality, it's not cookie cutter. It's about building rapport. The person who's seeking treatment, seeking services, have to have a certain level of trust with the clinician. So before anything could be established, that aspect is paramount. And so once that aspect is paramount and the actual clinician is able to do an assessment of what's needed to move forward, then that's when that person will be able to implement that. But I think first just establishing and building that rapport, because nothing is ever fleshed out until you build rapport. If I don't trust you, then I'm not going to talk to you. So the thing with that is building the trust. And that's either PTSD, bipolar, schizophrenia, fill in the
I
blank.
would say rapport is important.
Rapport
Yeah.
is the foundation.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think the biggest piece is being authentic, man, but being honest. Because
Yeah.
believe it or not, our clients can tell when they being bullshitted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
be honest with them, because that's the biggest part. And if they feel like you're not being honest with them, or you're not being 100% transparent,
Yep.
then you lost.
Yep.
So definitely being yourself and just being honest with your clients, I think, is a good way to develop rapport.
How do you be honest with your clients when you lie to women every day?
Who lie to women every day?
I was just generally asking.
Oh, okay. Well,
I wasn't saying neither one of y'all.
Oh,
do
okay.
that.
Well, not
Right,
us.
of course
Okay.
not.
Not y'all. That's why I didn't look
Right,
down.
right,
I
right.
looked down
I do not believe in lying to no women.
because
Nah.
I'm
I'm
just
here
saying,
to tell you that we
how
do
do
not
you
lie to women.
switch? How do you
Yes,
switch
indeed.
modes for being honest with your clients and then telling these people whatever they want to hear?
Well, I think you're conflating somebody's personal life versus their professional life, and I think that's two totally different
Okay.
things. Because let's be real, everybody is one way at their job, and they're another way in their personal life.
Yes, indeed.
Code
Absolutely.
switching.
So, yeah.
Code
I mean,
switching.
hey, whatever
Or is
you
that
want to
hoe
call it.
switching? Code
Hoe
switching.
switching.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
I was just wondering because we're talking about being honest. I just thought.
Future also said, "Let's be honest," right? I think he made a
Future?
song.
Are we quoting Future now?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm from Atlanta.
Next
so I mean,
question.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't even know if we got another question, but
Well, but let me ask you: is it lying when if somebody just
If you-
doesn't want to accept the truth?
Ooh.
Is that a lie?
If you gotta, no, we're not.
I don't know if that's
high-fiving.
necessarily a lie. If somebody's being honest with you and you don't want to accept the truth, then are they lying? I mean, it's the same thing in therapy, right? Because sometimes you can be
That
with
is
somebody
true.
in therapy and they don't want to accept the truth.
Absolutely.
So when they don't accept the truth, they come up with their own
Version of the truth.
perspective.
They don't want to accept it. They can't handle the truth.
Exactly.
You saying you're telling them the truth, and they can't accept it.
I think that's the case.
You
in
in
general
general,
terms.
you like you all. Not
Yeah,
Right,
not
you all.
yeah,
Not
not
you,
me.
not
Specific,
you.
not
Wait a
me,
minute,
no
you
way.
people.
Not you.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
You people.
Yeah, not that.
Yes,
yeah, I think
yes.
that's in general. I think people have a hard. I don't think that's with women. That's men too.
Yeah.
Everybody has a hard
absolutely.
time accepting the truth.
Yeah, that is true. I think men are a lot more emotional than women, though.
I could
Well,
see
in
that.
terms of not accepting the truth.
I mean, just in period, men are hyperly emotional, like very emotional.
I think that's both. I think that people act like men can't be in touch with their emotions or don't have emotions, but I feel like men and women are both. I think humans are emotional creatures in general.
Yeah,
I
we
think
are.
men just get a bad rap.
Yeah.
Like, why do you feel a type of way?
But societal values, right? Perspective, expectation shapes it to where it's like men are not expected to express themselves in that way, or somehow they're viewed as not a man. There's some knock on them for if they are. So a lot of times men, we hold that stuff in, and so I would say it probably is at times when we do get to that point where we have that breakout or that breakdown, like it may come off as more emotional because we've been having to carry it a lot longer in a lot of spaces. We're expected to. Right?
My
expected
advice is you better go cry on the inside like a winner first, okay?
Yes. What is that? What?
Cry on the inside like a winner.
I thought you were ready to say.
Yeah, for me.
Like a winner, like a W, like
okay.
A winner.
Okay, because the clip of the week for me was when Deion Sanders was talking to, I think, Michael Irvin, and he was pretty much saying that he was ready to break into TV, but he has a big personality and all that. And he was just pretty much showing gratitude to Michael Irvin for how he helped him, like setting up he had set up pieces of paper on the walls so that he could like point to different cameras and was just pretty much walking him through it. And he was just saying like, you just need friends that are willing to take you under their wing. Deion became emotional. Michael became emotional. This is like two big old football player, grown men, like crying on TV and hugging just about how much their friendship means to each other. And that was so beautiful to me. I was touched.
Because people don't, I mean, you know, I only know it because they both played for the Dallas Cowboys. And
my God!
No, I'm saying, but people don't like. There's a history there between Deion and Michael. Like Michael had shared a story about there being a time when he was strung out on drugs, and Deion showed up to his house and was like, "Nah, we got to go get you some help." So they've always had that close bond with each other as brothers, going back to like the '90s.
But I was just thinking like how far I feel like that just we have come just as a people, like not just them on TV doing their thing, but just like seeing them just openly embrace each other, hugging each other, crying, like literally not about nothing, just remembering how much they mean to each other and just being like,
expressing
he was
in that
always
moment.
there for me, like giving them their flowers while they still here. That just, I don't know, it did something for me. No, I don't know. It did something for me.
It was good. I think I actually even shared it on my Facebook page after I saw it because it was a really touching moment, man. To see.
And when we get fancy in the future, we're gonna add the clip in. But
when we get fancy in the future, and this is what we wanted to say.
We're gonna put the clip. We're gonna put a link to it at the bottom. Right.
And y'all get to see this journey that we're on. So you know, this is the beginning, the foundational piece and stuff, and you know what I'm saying. And like, share, and subscribe. I forgot to say that. Like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, because we trying to do big things. We out here in Louisville. How you say it? Louisville? Louisville.
It just depends, man. If you from Louisville, you know.
I think it's Louisville.
It's Louisville, right? But if I'm out of town somewhere and I'm talking to somebody that's not from here, I'll say Louisville. But I think that's the appropriate pronunciation is Louisville. But Louisville natives, people who are from this area, Louisville.
Oh, okay.
It's not Louisville.
It's Louisville everywhere.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like Louisville, meaning we pronounce it like Looval.
And that's how they need to pronounce it. When you in Rome, do as the Romans do. When you in
Louisville,
it's Louisville.
I'm like, Louisville.
You got it right. You said it good.
I said Louisville.
It's Louisville. It's Louisville.
Louisville.
Like, right,
not that they over here spelling it out and put it on here.
Hey, you know
that's funny.
Yeah. But one thing I will say about Louisville is it's an interesting place here. This is interesting.
Do tell. I would like outside of Kentucky perspective.
Right. Well, I didn't live.
We're not okay. Let's just put a disclaimer. Ricky and I are not native from Louisville, and I know Louisville people are serious about it.
Yeah, we're from good old Arlington and Madisonville, Kentucky.
We've been here for about 20.
We've been here for 23 years. We've been here longer than we've lived in Louisville longer than we lived in our hometown, basically.
Definitely. Okay. But I didn't want no Louisville people to be like, y'all not from New.
What high school did you go to?
Acorn.
What high school did you go to?
We wasn't born here.
That was an interesting thing when I first got here. It was like everybody's gonna ask what high school you come from.
That's a really big thing in Louisville. It's very tailored towards Louisville.
Only Louisville. We don't care about what high school.
Yeah, nobody because we're like a small big city. So they'll ask you off top name, age, what high school, what year you graduate. I went to Hopkins County Central High School downtown. No, Hopkins County Central High School.
If you be
2.5, 3 hours away.
From here, it was from. I just want to know what the name is because we probably
right. Oh, that boy too.
Who cares? What do you mean? 30
I remember
years ago?
we played them in football last year or the year before that. We kicked what out of them. Like, yeah, they do that.
Like, oh, okay.
I still want to know in case we whooped y'all.
Yeah.
What? Okay. What's your Louisville versus?
So
You from Georgia?
I'm from Atlanta.
Okay.
I moved here from Nashville, right? Nashville, I love Nashville. Nashville is its own little. It's like
Love
a baby.
Nashville.
I think some of the people that was harassed. Never mind.
Anyway, so what we were saying though is, so when I first got here, right, I was like, wow, okay, traffic. People in Kentucky drive a little slower, and my road rage has really increased a lot.
Okay.
Since being here, but it's almost like everybody know everybody. Like you can't like, oh, that's my cousin, sister, auntie, baby, daddy. I'm like, oh, for real? Wow. Okay.
Too connected.
It's
Like you
it's
wanted
small.
to be a little bit.
It's small here. It's like it's small. Like everybody know everybody, but it's also a kind of a family type situation. So you got to watch how you do and what you do. Because guess what? Somebody, auntie, mama, cousin, sister,
Oh, you
brother.
want a little bit more anonymity. You want to move.
No,
you want to
not
move
me.
around a little bit
Not
more
me.
covert. You see that? He said you got to
I'm
watch what
giving
you
a
do.
perspective of Louisville.
He said you got to watch what you do because you've been done got
Because
caught.
people think Louisville is big, but it's not as big as we think it is. It's more
Yeah.
like
You don't know
we're
who
a
knows
city with more
somebody
like a
who knows
town
somebody.
mentality
It
in
is
a lot of
it's
cases.
a college town.
Yeah, college town
So
mentality.
Yeah. So I was like,
You want to be able to move more stealth. You got a
Not
ninja
me.
spirit.
Not
Okay,
me. We
not
just
you.
talking about
I'm
you
saying
got a
you
ninja
are.
spirit, not a ninja
When
spirit.
I say you, I just mean
well,
You
know,
in
you gotta tell
general,
people.
yeah.
You know,
The-
you got
the
somebody-
collective
See, I
you.
had said he had So with that, you know what I'm saying? It's a interesting. It's a give you a southern yet midwestern because I ain't never lived in the Midwest ever. So it's a southern midwestern type of dichotomy mixed in with a little bit of you know what I'm saying? One thing I will say, y'all got some unique restaurants here that's only unique to Louisville.
We will eat.
They
Food
put
is good here.
they put noodles in chili.
Is that not?
No, in
A
the
thing?
South, I told my people in the South about some noodles and chili, and they were like, "What the hell?" Like,
It makes it like a, you know.
like a spaghetti or something
No.
It's chili.
It's chili.
with some noodles. Like
Man, I was born and
spaghetti.
raised with noodles and
I
chili.
never-
But you chop them up, kind of. They not just
I
long.
never
You
knew
don't just-
nothing about that. I said, "Ma'am, what is this?" And she's like, "It's chili, baby." I'm like,
It is.
You got Skyline chili. That's exactly how they make
I
theirs.
ain't know
Yeah.
nothing about on Skyline.
Yeah.
They
Now
got
I'm fooling with
Skyline.
Skyline, though.
You know what I'm saying? That's almost like going
But yeah,
to
I'm
the
putting
varsity
noodles in the
Atlanta.
chili.
Yeah.
That varsity-
Noodles in the
It hadn't been in
chili, yes
varsity
or
for
no?
so long.
Comment below.
Yeah, comment below.
Noodles in the chili or not?
Yeah, that's
Another
what
thing,
it
man,
is.
have you had spaghetti and the catfish yet?
Yeah, spaghetti and catfish.
course.
But Louisville people, a lot of people in Louisville don't rock with spaghetti and catfish. Like when I tell people,
It
I
might
go
be
to,
the country
when
thing.
I go home, I'm like, man, that's an expectation. When you go to fish fry, you're gonna have your two starches. You know, you're gonna have those fried potatoes,
Okay.
and that spaghetti and that catfish.
Okay.
Maybe
nothing green
you may
on the
have
plate.
you may have a side of coleslaw in there, but chances are that's what it is.
Well,
And
I'm
it's
from
great.
the home of brunch, Sundays and brunch,
Yeah.
period. So
Oh,
brunch
yeah.
is.
But
yeah,
when I go to
spaghetti,
Louisville, you hear
yeah.
people talk about it, and you say it's spaghetti and catfish. They look at you like you got horns going out of your head. Like
Because you're supposed to say catfish and spaghetti. You got to put the
Is that
catfish
right?
first.
I
that's
learned
what they
something
do. Is that
about
why
gotta
I
lead
threw
with
them
the
off? Because I had
catfish.
yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
That's that Arlington stuff. We got E-Town's finest in the building.
Oh, E-Town finest.
Y'all don't know.
There you
Y'all,
go,
if
E-Town.
anybody know what that means, then comment below.
You trying to start something? Okay.
Earlier, somebody had got on here talking about the Black Alumni Summit that's happening. I guess that's for homecoming.
Uh-oh.
So
For
we need
U of
to
L?
maybe I think U of L. We need to check out the Black Alumni Summit. Shout out to the Black Alumni
Black
Summit.
alumni.
Hopefully, listen, we want to encourage all the Black alumni from you. It's alumni, that's my Delta stuff. But all the Black alumni from U of L to come to homecoming this year, and let's try to
Do something.
do something. When is it? The 25th,
28th.
28th.
The 28th.
It's the end of the month.
Okay, U of L homecoming is the 28th. We're
I'll
gonna
be at
show
Austin
up.
Peay homecoming at
Oh,
that
he gonna
point
be
in
at
time.
Austin Peay.
Because I really
But-
wanted to came, but you know.
Okay,
Be there next
so Black alumni from Austin P, y'all go there.
Oh, we go
Alumni.
hard. We go hard.
And U of L's Black alumni. We want to see y'all out this year. Let's have some numbers this year. Let's do something.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Can
it's
we not?
important because that's the network. It's like a family reunion. It's a network. You never know. Even though you didn't like me in college, we grown now. Stop playing. I make hook you up. You make hook me up.
Yeah.
Get a Neo and just jack them up against the wall or something, just
No,
for
we do
old
not.
time's
See,
sake.
We
our
don't.
organization does not
Condone.
promote or condone hazing at all.
At
I don't.
all.
Yeah, I don't know what
No
they do,
Oh.
but we don't.
Circumstances
Yes.
at all.
Yes.
All
Do
right.
alphas
Okay.
condone hazing?
Okay.
Any shape,
We're
form, or
non-hazing
fashion?
Any
organization.
shape,
We are
form, or
non-hazing
fashion,
organization.
No, not stand.
We about to wrap up. They over here. How long we been on her? An hour and 14 minutes. That was pretty good.
Well, you know,
The
we
first
was
20
right.
minutes, was like, so we almost got a full solid hour. And that was not too bad. I don't even.
Yeah.
Y'all are all right.
You know what? I could deal with you.
I don't know about this.
I know, right?
Nah.
Oh, I would say some disparaging things, but I'm
It's
not.
okay.
Because we're all on the same team, guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so can y'all, before we wrap up, y'all tell them a couple of the ideas y'all have or things that y'all want to do coming up in the next coming episodes. I personally would like to see some guest appearances on
gonna
here.
do that. Yeah, we'll
So
get to that.
definitely
Yeah,
want to have some people stop through Rap City, the basement.
I don't rap.
And,
He said rap city.
Yeah, we the basement.
Oh Lord. Yeah,
And
yeah.
come and give another perspective. So I want to see some guests come on and
Yeah,
switch
we
up our
definitely gonna do
dynamic
that.
a little bit. At least another girl to balance out
Oh
the
my God.
Yeah, so if you
Oh,
guys have any
Testosterone
ideas, man,
in
share them.
here.
Inbox us.
Yeah, inbox
Yeah.
us. The Urban
balance out this
Therapist Connection
testosterone.
podcast.
Okay, what y'all want to see? Well, or what
before-
y'all
wait a
got
minute.
planned?
Before we do that, make sure that you give them your social media follow. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, show your support. Give them your social media. What's your Instagram?
Who, me?
Yeah, you Queen Aaron. What's your Instagram? Oh, Pretty Ricky Fontaine.
He don't even know.
I don't know. That's sad.
Yeah.
Well, my therapy Instagram is Epiphany MHB. I just started my own company. And MHB stands for Mental Health and Beauty.
Okay.
It's a different kind of concept, but I kind of was hesitant on naming it that because it's different. But I like that I have to explain it to people because they like, what do mental health and beauty like? But it's kind of a play on the words like health and beauty. That's a category, but like mental health and beauty. So that's my little niche. I'm trying to, expand it. So follow me on Epiphany MHB on Instagram, and it's more to come on that.
Ooh, yep.
So y'all wasn't gonna tell me the ideas that y'all wanted
We
to
about
do?
to do that. I just want to get you out there. I mean, Dad, you so impatient.
That seemed like it was gonna be after that.
Yeah.
We had already had. It's fine though.
It's dessert before the
But
meal.
still, only I'm the only one that said mine.
Cause we're about to say it. You be ooh
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, I mean, you can follow me on, I think, Facebook. I have Jose Ricardo Morris. And then on Instagram, it's Jose R. Morris. I think for me, I like the idea of interviewing people, but I want to have, focus on just different hot topics that occurred the week before that we can have a discussion
Yeah, we
about.
definitely
And
gonna
then,
do that.
be able to post some of those snippets on, the day we go live for people to be able to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me
So
at
I'm sorry. So if
Oh,
you
go
guys
ahead.
have anything that you want to share, any current events maybe that I haven't tapped into that you want us to discuss,
Yo.
hit my inbox. So to make that a point to have that discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. I am.
So you inviting people to your inbox right here on national TV in front of millions.
I'm inviting people for work-related podcast things.
All right, I'm just saying.
Miss Aaron, thank you.
So messy.
He said slide
So
in his
messy.
DM if you want to
So
get if you
messy.
want
That's not
to.
what I
Oh, my
said.
God.
It's not what I said.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you have
If
ideas
not
about
what he
podcast.
said, rewind it.
Podcast
Oh, my
info.
God.
Podcast info only.
You can't take people.
Anyway,
All right. You can follow me at Mr. 3D Cuts Be Nasty.
what?
Yes, on
Wait,
Instagram.
hold on.
You can follow me at the Urban Therapist MJB on Instagram. Shush, because I know you was about to say something. Anyway,
I ain't said nothing.
you was about to. It's itching.
I
It
ain't
itching.
said a
Look at it.
word.
Mike shaking. She about to go
What
in.
nasty?
She about to go-
Be
See,
nasty.
I knew it. I
Be
knew
na-
it.
was you
I
an
cut
exotic
hair.
dancer
No,
at one
no,
time?
Ma'am.
Oh,
No,
okay.
ma'am. I cut hair. And so
Said be nasty.
3D Cuts Be Nasty, right?
Who's
So-
your therapist? Be nasty. Have you seen them
Hey,
on
anyway,
Friday night
See, here we go. I
at
knew
the
this was
Boom
gonna
Boom
happen.
Room?
I knew this was going to happen. Anyway,
Be
as I was
nasty.
saying, yes, as I was saying though. So what I would like to see moving forward is our homecoming tour. And so next year we're gonna probably plan to do this on the road in the homecoming tour.
Okay.
So we want to be at your homecoming, and we want you all to be a part of.
Invite us.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Invite us. Yeah. Yeah. Reach out to. If they reach out to you, are you gonna share it with us?
I'll definitely share it with you. I'll
We
make sure
have
you
to
get
ask
it.
about that because Pretty Ricky. I mean, you know what I'm saying. All right. Anyway, so like I was saying though, yeah, we want to come out to your homecoming. We want to cut up. We want to see what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? We all D9. We do our thing. We want to do our thing and see what y'all do. We want to be able to connect the black alumni. Yeah, we want to be able to get the black alumni. We want to encourage. It's not like y'all actually paying y'all money
Summit,
back to
the Black
school.
Alumni
You know
Summit.
what I'm saying? Yeah. So, we want to do that. Black Alumni Summit. Mental health. We there.
Shout out to Kelly Denise for putting that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Shout out, that's Cuz.
Yeah,
All right,
and
Kelly.
she said,
Cuz.
and she said that the people in Atlanta were shocked when she served them chili with noodles in it.
I see. I told you. We like,
Apparently,
I
Atlanta's
fr-
not
hey,
giving
I
y'all
had
They not,
noodles.
they not feeling
out
the
when I
noodles.
seen
Y'all don't know
that.
what y'all missing in Atlanta.
I'm like, man.
No
what-
idea.
And you can't just see what I don't like is when they try to put them on the side and then the noodles is not saturated in the
it's gotta
chili
saturate. It's
stuff.
gotta marinate.
It's gotta be.
Gotta marinate in that pot for a while. Yeah.
This is my-
You do gotta marinate.
Okay,
You can't.
He be right. I'm with you when you right, my guy. Okay.
Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused. I think Dr. Umar said that. Yeah.
Okay. So, y'all got some closing remarks? Something deep? You need to turn the Steve Harvey music on, don't we?
Don't mention no daggone Steve Harvey in this mug. You know
Oh,
what I'm
you
talking about?
anti-Steve?
Man, I am not a pro Steve.
Oh, okay. Well, then, I
I
don't
can
know.
take Steve or leave him.
Y'all can take or leave Steve. What about? Did y'all like
I just don't think
Toupee
he's
Steve
funny.
or Bald Steve?
I just don't think he's really that. I don't really think he's that
High
funny
top
as a comedian.
He's not funny. Oh, God, he's not funny.
He does decent in movies and TV shows,
I
I
don't
like
even
him
know
as a
about that.
host.
but
A
comedy
radio
wise,
show in the morning, like 10 years ago. Yeah,
Good.
Steve dropped you a
and he
dime
does
or two.
decent on Family Feud because he gets those little kind of dad
Yeah, I
jokes
like him
in,
as a host.
and that's funny. But it's like when him getting up actually doing stand up, I just no. So I wasn't surprised when all that stuff came out in Kings of Comedy that like that's why he was moved to the host because he wasn't that funny. Because it's like how do you put Steve Harvey in the same stage as a Bernie Mac or a Said? Like that's just suicide to have to follow up behind them on the stage. Like you're just not gonna win. Like you go through
the Taylor
Said
Swift
bring
of
it down,
comedy.
and then Bernie bring it down.
Subjective opinion.
He's the Taylor Swift of comedy. The more general and bland it is, the more mass appeal.
bland.
That's why he has more shows, more this,
Yeah.
more that, because you eliminate. Bernie Mac gonna eliminate people. It's only so many people
'Cause
are
of
gonna
his-
like
his
Cedric the
style.
Entertainer,
Yeah.
but Steve has got mass appeal because it's like the mayonnaise.
He's
So.
palatable.
Palatable.
He said you-
Yeah, it's like
Wait, he the what?
any demographic, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Mayonnaise.
he's
The
at least
mayonnaise of
tolerable. It's
comedy.
like,
He's the mayonnaise of comedy.
Lord, oh Lord.
Okay, we wrapping up.
Yeah, we about to wrap up. Like, share, subscribe. Go to our YouTube channel, the Urban Therapist Connection Podcast. Like I said, like, share.
Hopefully,
subscribe.
he'll let me and Ricky be on the logo at some point in time. I don't know.
Oh,
He
my
only
God.
he only
Here we
puts it.
go.
Everybody, when I try to share it with people, they like, who? I clicked the link and it was just some guy. I don't know. He's not. He won't let us be on the logo.
It took time.
Ricky's
you know
too
what we
light
gonna
skinned.
talk
He
about?
wasn't showing up in the photo shoot.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
And
Lord.
I was probably too cute. I was probably just taking all the shine. So
Yeah,
he.
you was. I ain't gonna
She
argue
said,
with you.
"Just
I
let me
ain't
get a fedora and I'll just do it." He was up there with. Okay, so can we? What? Maybe we'll get to be on the logo by the next time we.
Lord have mercy. Anyway,
by the next time we
take
shoot.
the wheel, Jesus. We appreciate you all coming. We appreciate your time. You know what I'm talking about? From the Urban Therapist Compound.
We out of here, what? I mean, what you want me
I'm
to
Queen
say?
Erin.
I'm
This is
Ricky.
Cowboy Ricky. On
Cowboy.
Sunday
How
he's
about the
Cowboy
Cowboys?
Ricky. On Sundays he's
8:20
Cowboy
tonight.
Ricky during the Cowboy season.
And I am the Urban Therapist MJB.
We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.